friends, welcome to this vlog. I'm Sri Lankan Sammi, retired with mom and dad. Today we're gonna talk about politics in Sri Lanka. We've got elections coming up. What can you expect? Well, this is the view from an expat. First time voting in Sri Lanka. This is what I have learned. Why don't you join me? We'll see you in a minute. All right, guys, thanks for joining. I really appreciate everyone who is logging in, subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. It's very important that you comment, okay? You can really help my channel by clicking the comment, leaving a little line, just something that helps the channel grow and put it in front of other people. I truly, truly appreciate it, and lots of love and support, especially from my Sri Lankan family. So many of you are joining now and liking what you're seeing, so I truly, truly appreciate that. Today we're going to talk about the upcoming election. All right. Now I'm not going to talk about specific politics. I'm going to talk about what it is I have to do to be able to vote and what kind of political system we have here in Sri Lanka for expats who are maybe thinking about returning to Sri Lanka with a dual citizenship and voting and etc., you know, all of those things. I'm not going to get into politics or anything like that. That's not what this is all about. But please let me know what you think. Comment below. Thanks a lot. And if you want to support the channel, watch a commercial. That would really be helpful. Click the ad or click the link down below and buy me a coconut. Read all about what I do to support the Sri Lankan community here. Excellent. So first thing you gotta do is you have to go to elections.gov.lk and register. Okay, voter registration. You have to vote. You have to register to vote. Now, I'm a Canadian citizen and a Sri Lankan citizen, and I'm a Korean permanent resident. I can vote in 3 countries. I have not voted in probably 20 years. Because I've been disillusioned with elections. So I haven't voted, but it looks like I might consider voting in the upcoming presidential election. So first thing you have to do as a first-time voter is go to eServices Election Commission at www.elections.gov.lk, and you have to sign in and register using your a government issued ID. You have to go through that whole process and you get an email back telling you what everything is. So now you're registered to vote. You will then, the census takers will come by and say how many people are registered to vote, what are their IDs, so then they have you in the local rolls, okay? So Sri Lanka is a here we are. So Sri Lanka is, what kind of government are we? I don't know. Let's see here. We're a democracy, but we have elections on a national level, a head of state, which is the president, and a legislature. So there's 2 elections. We have a multi-party system with 2 dominant political parties. Okay. The president is elected directly for a 5-year term. There is a instant runoff voting where when you go to vote, you vote for first round, second round, and third round. But because in the past, there has never been a runoff, people only vote once for like one name. They're undereducated when it comes to how to vote. So they don't know how to fill out a ballot. Parliament is made up of 225 members elected for a 5-year term. 196 members elected in multi-seat constituencies through proportional representation. So right now, what was voter turnout? So the average voter turnout is about 75%. That is pretty good. Out of the 12 elections that we've had, you were a population of 21 million, 16 million are registered. So, I mean, the last 4 elections were 75, 83, 77, and 81% turnout. Prior to that, it was like 60 and 70%. So, I mean, that is a huge amount, huge, of people voting. So it's not an apathetic constituency, which is a good thing. So the 2 main parties took up 52 and 42% of the votes. So in total, they got 94% of the votes. The other 6% going to the dozens of other parties. There's lots of parties. And Sri Lanka is basically broken up into the Buddhist Sinhala and the Tamil Hindu sections, from what I've seen. So we have an election, and the next election is coming by October. A presidential election will be held it's been announced, under the Constitution. There has to be an election. So that is coming. Then, so just like the United States, there is the midterm election, which is for Parliament. That is coming up as well. Now, I'm not sure when the next election is. I know the presidential election is coming up in between September 17th and October 25th. The parliamentary elections will take place next year. They should be taking place early next year or late this year. So that has to happen as well. Right now, let's look at the makeup of the political landscape. Sri Lanka has 9 provinces, and they're divided into 25 districts. Those districts are divided into divisional secretaries divisions, and each of those is divided into village officer divisions. Let's see here. I live in the Western Province, which is the biggest one, which includes Colombo, which is 5.8 million. Each of the other 8 provinces remaining have between 1.2 and 2.5 million people. On average, just under 1.5 million people in each of the other provinces. But the Western Province where I live, which includes Colombo, is the biggest one at 5.8 million. So let's see here. So there are 3 candidates declared, and the current president is also eligible to run in the upcoming election. the current leader of the opposition. And two other guys from, one's an independent and the National People's Power candidate. So let's see. List of political parties. So we have the Sri Lankan People's Freedom Alliance. That is the current president's party. And then we have the, I can't pronounce this, Samaji Jana Bawalagaya, and that is the opposition. And then a smaller party of Supreme Lanka Coalition. So the main party is, well, sorry, this is an alliance. I'm sorry, that's not a party, this is an alliance because it is a coalition government. The parties, I'm sorry, the parties, the Sri Lanka SLPP, it's a right-wing party, that is the current leader. No, sorry, that is the former leader. And the United National Party is the current leader. So they're in an alliance. The names, I'm sorry, I don't want to murder these names, so I'm not going to bother talking about these names. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parties make up the alliance which is currently running the government. The SLPFA, the Sri Lankan People's Freedom Alliance, is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parties. And they hold the majority, and they're right-wing, center-right, left-wing, centric, center-centric. The opposition is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 parties. And they make up the opposition, and they're also all center. They're also all center. So all the alliances are listed here, you know, and they make up less than 6% of the political landscape in the House. So one of the things Mom told me is that the way it works here is that unfortunately the electorate in this country are undereducated or lack access to information because either they don't have internet or they don't have TV. So it's predominantly, and as well what I have learned is that this country is a lot of word of mouth. Rumors spread like wildfire in this country, and I've trained Mom not to listen to rumors. How many times, and I've written them down, I said, okay, you told me on this date that this is the rumor that something's going to happen. Well, it didn't happen. Next one. And over the last 2 years, I've proven every single one of her rumors wrong. And I said, well, this has come from a reliable source. Well, that source got it from someone else who isn't reliable. So I stopped her from listening to rumors. Now there's probable and possible and just outright rumors. So this country runs on rumors, on word of mouth. People don't trust the government, and I noticed that happens in Korea as well. People don't trust the government. When the government tells you something, they don't believe it. But they believe their friends who, for whatever reason, will make something up. So elections here are very emotional. So there's a little bit of danger in it, especially political rallies and the run-up to the actual election. Because there is a seedier side to politics in this country, sometimes in certain areas you'll find people doing wrong things. I'm not going to go into details about it, but I live in a more affluent area, so it's not something that I'm overly concerned about. My mom has said that in September, October, in the lead up to the election, don't plan on going anywhere, don't plan on doing anything. You're going to stay close to home. Just because you don't want to be caught out and accidentally be caught up in a march or a political rally or something like that that turns potentially violent. It doesn't happen all that often. It has happened in the past, but with this election coming up, being the first one since the economic crisis, the potential for inflamed emotions is big right now, because you have the former ousted president and his party. The potential is that he may run again, and the current president is not 100% favorable right now because he's a remnant of the past. So, you know, there's a lot going on right now, and a lot of people are not happy. So what we have to do is, there is no early voting in Sri Lanka. They don't allow you go, and the voting is over a few days. Okay, and you go over the few days and you go and vote. You have to take your ID. You have to go, and then you get the, you know, your thumb colored. Happens in non-Western countries. Well, sorry, doesn't happen in the States, doesn't happen in Canada. I don't know about Europe, but in Korea and Philippines and Thailand and here, they color your thumb to make sure you don't vote again. They tattoo basically with indelible ink that takes days to wash off. But I mean, if you use the right solvents, you can get it removed and go vote again. Well, if you wanted to. I'm not saying that. Anyway, so I am registered to vote. I'm planning on voting. I don't know who I'm going to vote for. Probably the incumbent, you know, because he's the best man for the job, considering he's a former finance minister and he has the experience and the international recognition to be able to get us deals on the international market, because that's what we need right now. We need deals on the international market. But I don't know who I'm going to vote for. Am I going to tell you? I don't know. We'll see what the situation is like in this country, what's going to happen over the next few months. I'm going to probably report back over the little while and let you guys know what's going on. But right now, I haven't seen much. You know, I keep up on the news, the local news. I don't report on it because it's more local. It's not really anything you guys really care about, but it's interesting to see what's going on. And I want to get a little bit more involved in my homeland. You know, I didn't vote in Korea because I really didn't care that much, because Korean politics is very diverse and, again, also very passionate. But my only concerns when I was voting in Korea was stability of the nation, strong economy, and strong exchange rate, because that were the important things to me. In Canada, I voted right up until I left. But after I left, or towards the end, I started getting disillusioned with politics because I've seen what happens. But I do want to vote at least one time to get my name in the system, so that I'm a citizen. I should vote at least once, right? Otherwise, I can't really talk, right? So I'm going to vote once and just get my name in the system that I voted, and move on from there. So that's basically it. If you guys have any questions about voting, like I said, comment below. I'll see what I can do to help you. But this will be my first time. Let's see, in 3 months, 4 months. We'll see what happens, and we'll talk to you again later. Sri Lankan Sammi, retired with mom and dad. I'll see you all on the other side.